That's how it works now. New rules. There's new Corona rules.
I can't normally come on a Monday and a Wednesday.
Rabbi Isai, good morning.
Ooh, he's in a tough mood this morning.
Yeah. Things are changing rapidly. We're gonna have to think about what we're doing on Motzei Shabbos and on Friday. Basically, the first 100 people in, it's first come, first served, then we're going to have to lock the doors, basically.
What are you, Bishama?
That's how it is. No, there's a new rule that a 100 person gathering, you're not allowed to have more than 100 people in a room. Halavai should stay like that until Friday. Things are changing rapidly.
I'm not coming with the Shabbos.
Zok the Heilige email. Thanks for returning my phone. Hi, Rebelli. I can't thank you enough for amazing shiurim. I learned that every day with the Chavrusa, but enjoy watching a shiur on my daily bus commute. Not only does it provide great chazara, but it fills in the blanks and enhances my understanding of every daf. While everyone else is on the bus playing games and watching movies on their phones, trying to kill the time, I'm watching and enjoying your entertaining shiur and not letting the time kill me. As you said in the Siyum, Anu rotzim v'heim rotzim. Fortunate are we to have you keep us running in the right direction. They say America runs on Duncan, but I'll say the daf runs on a Reb Eli. Hashem should bench you with whatever you need to continue your amazing job and inspire thousands around the globe to be part of the Yomi. During my commute home on Tainus Esther, after watching the full shiur, I started to listen to the 8-minute review with my earpods when my stop came. I was the last to get off the bus, took a few steps only to hear the beeping of my pods indicating that my phone was out of range. Oi, I must have left my phone on the bus, which had already left the station. I quickly ran after the bus, catching it at a red light. Baruch Hashem, I was able to get my phone back. If I weren't listening to your shiur at the time, I wouldn't have realized I left my phone behind until it would be too late. Just as you inspire us, even though you're so far away, you can even be Mekayim Hashavas Aveda, thousands of miles away. Thanks again for everything, Amoi. All right, we're slightly behind, so we got to catch up now. Daf Hey Amud Beis. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakol niyeh b'dvaroi. Who's that, your son? Oh, that's your son. Shalom Aleichem, son. What? What did you say, Yosef? All right. We're holding by Omar Rav Oven, Omar Rabbi Eloi, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Here, sit. Everybody settle down, please. We're trying to continue from where we're holding in the middle of Daf Yomi Beis. If a person was laden with food and drink, what happened? He put the food on him. He was carrying this food. He didn't want to go outside of his house. He lifted up a box in his house. His idea was just to move around a little bit. And then afterwards, he decided to walk outside. So what happened here? Since you have to do an akira, and the akira has to be with das, you have to have in mind that you're going to do haitzah. But over here, he didn't have in mind that he was going to do haitzah. He had in mind that he's just going to walk inside Rosh Hashanah. He's not chayiv until he stands still. Says Rashi. We must see Rashi for this. Like 6 lines before it becomes wide. Amazing Rashi. We have to remember this Rashi for the rest of the Masechta because it's very important. First he stands still, and then he lifts up his feet and he starts walking again. Says Rashi, if a person lifted up a box or anything in order not to do hoitzah, so now in order for him to be over on hoitzah, he has to undo the original lifting. How does he undo the original lifting? He stops still, he stands still, and that's as if he put the object down, and then when he starts walking again, that becomes a new akira. Because now I have to have akira with my mind saying I'm going to do haitzah. Therefore, if he stands still and then he starts walking again with the intent to be over a isser, That's a good akira. Beloy amida, without him standing still, leka akira el akira rishayna. Without him standing still, he's still with the first akira. Oh, here's the point. Everybody needs to remember. That akira wasn't with the intent to go outside into Rosh Hashanah. So this is the first time we see this concept. It's going to be for the rest of the Masechta. You have to have meleches machsheves. You have to have intent to do a malacha. You can't just pick an object up without thinking about picking it up. You have to have intent to lift it up, to bring it outside the Rosh Hashanah. Mishkan, she's kaven lasis hamalacha. That's how they did in the Mishkan. They had to have intent. Then it's not. Fine. So you have to have melechem machsheves. So what happened over here? Very good. He lifted up this Gemara because he thought that he wants to bring it to the shelf. And then he decided to bring it outside. That's not an akira, because that wasn't the meleches machsheves. He didn't have in mind to take it outside. So he has to stop still, stand still, undo his first akira, and then start walking again. That's a new akira. Oh my, what?
If he does that, then it's over.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Please do not be medaik in my words. Thank you. Omar Abaya, v'hu sha'omad lafosh. But it depends why he stopped. Did he stop because he wanted to rest? Or did he stop because he wanted to readjust the package? Big difference. If he stopped because he wanted to rest, that's considered a stop. That's a hefsek. And memela, he's starting all over. He's restarting. Now, if he's mimai, midom amar, toichar ba'amois, not true. No, not true. Today is not. Toichar ba'amois omalavish potter, lekativ chayav. If he's readjusting, I know exactly what you told him. If he's readjusting his package, then he's potter. If he's, in this case, he's chayav. What's going on? If it's within arba amos, a person has to walk 4 amos in order to be chayav. Since readjusting a package is nothing, and he walked 2 amos, readjusted his package. Continue walking 2 amos. How many amos did he walk total? 4. Why? Because readjusting is nothing. If he walked 2 amos, it's a reverse logic almost. If you walk 2 amos to rest, that's a real stop. And then he walked another 2 amos. How many amos did he walk total? 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4. Because he took a break in between. If he walked 2 amos, readjusted his package, and continued walking 2 amos, how many amos did he walk? 4. Because the readjustment is nothing. In our case, it's the exact opposite. What happened? He was in his house. He was holding his Gemara, walking around. If he took a break, then it's a good stop, which consists of a new akira, which would make him chayav. Over here, the stop makes him chayav. If he stopped just to readjust his package, I have a picture, but it's not necessary. Maybe we'll use it later. Here's a guy readjusting his package. We really need this picture for later. These are some sort of beams. Anyway, it says over here that readjusting a package is nothing, and if it's nothing, then he never restarted his akira. The original akira is for just to put the Gemara in the shelf, but not to bring it outside. Mainly, he's not chayiv. So it depends what you're using your stop for. Sometimes a full stop makes it osur. Sometimes a full stop makes it mutter, depending on the situation. Omer Abayo v'ushamad lafush. Michael Mashma, what is this whole sugi coming to be mechadish? Because he didn't want to pick it up to carry. And Memela, he's not chayiv until he picks it up to carry. Hamar Rabbi Yochanan here, Rabbi Yochanan already said this halacha. If a person is just carrying stuff in his house, and then he decides to take him outside, he's potter because there's no akira. Says the Gemara, you're right. Rabbi Yochanan did say it once before, and we're saying the same thing all over again. It's two Talmidim of Rabbi Yochanan who repeated this in different ways. Interesting case. A guy went from Rishus HaYochid, from the red to the blue. Typically, that would be Issa Deraisa. But over here, there's green in between. There's a Carmelis. So maybe he made a stop in the Carmelis. And if you stop in the Carmelis, that's not Asr. The Isser is to go from Rishus HaYochid to Rishus HaRabim without a stop. Direct flight. He can't make a stopover. No, but he didn't stop physically. He was walking. So the question is walking considered a stop? Why? Because every time you place your foot down on the ground, your toes are not moving at all for a split second until you lift them up again. So for that split second, you have a hanacha. You stopped. Says the Gemara, Haboitzi mechanus, which is a Rishus HaYochid, liplatio, to Rishus HaRabim. Platio is a big plaza that people do business there, many people there, as we're going to see on Amud Aleph. That's a Rishus HaRabim. Derech Stav, through a Carmelis, a Makom Ptur, Chayav. By the way, where do we have the word Stav in Brachas? Anybody? Not everybody together. Mr. Chazara. Stav. Lifnim is Stav. Stav. Harabais. We're getting there. What else? That the Gemara said you should always use your Rebbe's Lashon. It's really called something else. It's Stava, whatever. He used the word Stav. No? Stav Lifnim is Stav. It was on Harabais. Staf Lamed Gimel Ayin Sham. I think that was the sugya there. Huh? Of the Stav? Because they had in those days benches where people would eat their korbanos on.
And hawk their wares and sell.
What?
Sell different things.
Yeah, that's right. In the Harabais is for sitting, and then the Stav was for selling, for stuff in front of stores. Now, Chachamim say, the Tanakama says, Chayiv. So if a guy goes from Rishus HaYochid to Rishus HaRabim and he makes a stop in a Carmelis, he's still Chayiv. Why? We'll see in a second. Ben Azai poiter. Ben Azai says he's poiter. Bishlam Ben Azai says, I really understand Ben Azai very well. Kosavar mahalech ko'oimedami. He holds that every time you're walking, it's as if you're stopping. Every step you take is a stop. Now, how does he do Dalet Amos and Rishus HaRabim? Okay, they discuss it. He jumped 4 Amos. Kosavar, what? 8 feet. 4 Amos is, we hold the Amos about 2 feet. 8 feet. Not a big deal. Okay, so let's say they don't hold of this svara that every time you take a step, it's considered a stop. Where do Chachamim make up this halacha? If I walk through a Carmelis, I walk through a Makom Ptur, I should be chayiv. I didn't go directly from Rishus HaYochid to Rishus HaRabim. Why should I be chayiv? So the Gemara has 3 attempts. On the 3rd attempt, it's successful. Let's see the 3 attempts. Omer Rav Safra, Omer Rabami, Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Rabami says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Midi dahava am mavir chayfetz b'Rishus HaRabim. Oh, look at this, beautiful. If a guy, we need those TV screens. Where are those TV screens? Rabbi Yisai? When are they coming? Monitors. I see you growing up had a monitor in your house, right? 5 monitors. You had those monitors that went in automatically into the dining room table, and then it folded up into the thing. When guests came, 1 button, gone. Monitors. Yeah, exactly. The Shas opened up. Zok the Gemara. What's going on here? A guy walked like this. Dalet Amos. By this sign, if he were to stop and place his package down, he's chayiv midaraisa. What did this guy do? He didn't stop there. He continued walking. You see, in the gray area. He continued walking over here. Continue walking. Says the Gemara Gevaldik. Let's consider this beige area. Let's consider it a Mokim Ptur. Why? Because he could have put it down, but he didn't. He doesn't have to put it down. If he wants to, he could put it down. But he continued walking. So all this is a Mokim Ptur. And it's similar to our Sugya, that if a guy walks from a Rishus HaYachid to a Rishus HaRabbim with a Carmelis in between, that he's chayiv. Over here, if he places his Gemara down on the floor right here, he's chayiv. What's this area right over here? A Mokim Ptur. Okay, so I have a case of a Mokim Ptur that he's chayiv even though he didn't put it down. He put it down afterwards. Says the Gemara, that's not a great example. Says the Gemara, over there in this case, the Gemara is bringing its proof. Even though he's walking and he's still potter, as long as the guy is walking, right? Listen to this. If he continues to walk forever, he'll never be chayiv. If he walks all the way to Motzi Shabbos, he's never chayiv. So all this walking that he did from the sign of 4 Amos till whenever he decides to put it down is called ptur. He's not chayiv until he places it down. So I need to consider this beige area Mokim Ptur. And as soon as he's done with that Mokim Ptur and he decides to place his chayfetz down, he's chayiv. He just came from a Mokim Chiyuv and passed by a Mokim Ptur. Says the Gemara, me dummy. I was once learning with a kid, and a kid told me, me dummy, I'm a dummy? Fine, that's not, but it's a way to remember it for kids. Me dummy, is it similar b'chlal? Hasam kol heichid demanach lei mokim chiyuvu. Wait a minute, I could put it down anywhere along this beige line, and I'll be chayiv. Imonach lei b'stav mokim turu. But if I go from my Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabbim, in this case right over here, if I place it down in the green area, I am completely potter. It's a Mokim Ptur. So there's no comparison. If I place it down anywhere in the beige area, I decide to place it down over here, I'm chayiv. Over here, chayiv, over here, chayiv. So it's not really a Mokim Ptur. It's just, I decided not to put it down there. Depends how big it is. We're going to go through all the halachas. Depends how wide it is, how big it is. It's not 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim. It's sticking out. So why is it not part of Rishus HaRabbim? Why is it not part of Rishus HaRabbim? You have to see how tall it is and all these other. We're going to go through all the halachas. This is not the sugi. We're going to get there soon. We're going to touch upon it later on today. Says the Gemara, Ella, I have another example. Here's a different example that's better for us. A guy was walking exactly 4 amos. Here, he's up to the 4 amos. Now we know that in order to be chayiv midaraisa, he has to walk 4 amos. What if a person walks 2 amos and puts his chayvetz down? He's potter. In other words, it's a mokim ptur until he reaches 4 amos. The guy walks 1 amma and he puts his chayvetz down, he's potter. He continues walking to 2 amos and puts his chayvetz down, he's potter. So what is this place called where he's walking? A Mokim Ptur. He's in a Rishus HaRabbim, but for him he's potter. If he puts his chayvetz down, he's potter. He's only chayiv once he hits 4 amos. So everything up until that point is considered a Mokim Ptur. What's the obvious answer to that question? But for Shimon, who started over here, and he places his chayvetz down in Reuven's Mokim Ptur, he's chayiv. In other words, it is a Mokim Chiyuv. For you, it's a Mokim Ptur. It's not a good example because by us we're talking about a Carmelist that for the whole world it's a Mokim Ptur. Zog the Gemara. He's going exactly 4 amos. What if he places down his chayvetz, his object, before he reaches the 4 point? But if he reaches 4, then he's chayiv. anything before 4, he is patur. That means that everything before 4 is a makom patur. So too, if a guy walks from Rishus HaYachid and crosses over a Carmelis, he's in a makom patur, he should be patur. Why the Chacham say he's chayav? Or no, fakert. This is a raya to Chachamim that even though he walked through a makom patur, he's chayav. So too, even though he walked through a Carmelis, he's chayav. Yes?
Yes.
The guy walked 2 amas, he could have placed his package down and it would be patur. So he's in a makom patur. But when he got to 4 amas, he placed his package down, he's chayiv. He just walked through a makom patur, he's still chayiv. So too, if a guy walks from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim and he passes by a makom patur, a Carmelis, he should be chayiv. That's the raya. Says the Gemara. No. Chacham say I hold that it's not like standing. No. Even if they hold it's not like standing, we started off. Only Ben Azai hold it's like standing. Midami. What's the comparison? Hasam legavi had the high gavra makom turu. Yes, for this guy, if he places down his package, he's not chayiv because he didn't walk 4 amas. L'kulam makom chivu. But anybody else walking the Rishus HaRabim who already walked 4 amas in that exact spot where this guy's patur, they would be chayiv. It's like the Gemara hacha. But in our case, the Carmelis, l'kulam makom turu. The green spot in this picture for the entire world is a makom patur. So it's not a good comparison. What is the comparison? I don't have a picture for this one. You just have to picture it in your head. Elamidi dehava ha'motzim Rishus HaYachid l'Rishus HaRabim derech tzidei Rishus HaRabim. What's going on here? A guy's fence fell down into Rishus HaRabim. Now the area where the fence fell down, what is that considered halachically? According to Chachamim, that's considered a makom patur, a Carmelis. Why? People don't walk there. It's difficult to get around there. So yes, it's in Rishus HaRabim, next to Rishus HaRabim, but people don't walk there. So it says that if a person walked from Rishus HaYachid, had to climb over that fence area, get into Rishus HaRabim, he's chayav. But he just walked over a makom patur. It's a Carmelis. He didn't go directly from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. He went Rishus HaYachid, had to climb over these rocks, these what do you call them? Different things that bother you, obstacles. He walked over the obstacles and he got to Rishus HaRabim. So in essence, we went from Rishus HaYachid to Carmelis to Rishus HaRabim. What's the halacha? Chayav. So here you see the case that even though you walk through Carmelis, you're chayav. Hasam. If you put your object into the broken wall, you're patur because that's considered a Carmelis. Yet if you go past the Carmelis, you get over the obstacles, you get to the Rishus HaRabim, you're chayiv. Why? You just passed by a makom patur. Fine. And who told you that if you go do this, you go from a Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim going by a Carmelis Yechayiv? Who told the Gemara this? Where do they pick up this halacha from?
What's a sidewalk?
Oh?
What's a sidewalk?
Sidewalk is like a Carmelis. Sidewalk is a good example because, very good, it's a good thing you brought it up because that's basically what Tosfos answers. Tosfos answers, we learn this from the Mishkan. We learn this from the Midbar. How did people live in the Midbar? Like they live today basically. Nobody builds their house on the Rishus HaRabim. There's always a setback. There's some sort of sidewalk, a yard, something. You don't have your front door and you're in the Rishus HaRabim. It just makes sense, Tosfos says, that in the Midbar also, people had things right in front. And Memela, there was a Carmelis. And if they went from the Rishus HaYachid to the Rishus HaRabim, they had to go by this Carmelis. And Memela, we learn it from the Mishkan. Fine. Mascular, Papa, what? We're going to get there in a second. Maskiv l'hara papa. Let's just finish this sugya for a second, and then we're going to get to the major sugya of Carmelis, of Rishus HaRabim, Rishus HaYachid, makom patur, fire hydrants, everything else. That's okay if you say that the side of Rishus HaRabim is not like Rishus HaRabim. In other words, if people can't get there, so similar to like, just imagine this. Here we're going to talk about these exact things in a second, but this is your yard. Here you see the lanes going through the Rishus HaRabim lanes. This is Rishus HaRabim, this is Rishus HaYachid. If people can't get into this green area, then that's called Tzidei Rishus Harabim. So if you say Tzidei Rishus Harabim, Ki Rishus Harabim Dami Ma'ikil Meimar. But if you hold like Rebbe Lezer, that says that this green area is a Rishus Harabim, so what's the raya? So the guy he opened his door, went into the grass, which happens to be Rishus Harabim. And that's not a Carmelist. So I don't have a raya that he went through a Mokum P'tur and he's still Chayiv. Huh? Yeah, Vada. Yes. It's only when you don't have these poles. What are they called? Those little things that they put in front of the bus stops now so terrorists don't jump on the curb. Security barriers, security poles, whatever they are. That's what they had in those days also. Not as tall as this. Doesn't have to be as tall. It's just that the wagons don't drive into your property. Chifufei. Aval heichadiki chifufei mishamislei. Hirkoch lahodamya. So says the Gemara, you have to say, we're talking about if this chifufei. You have these guys in front of his front yard, and memela, nobody could get in there. Regular people don't go out of the way and go through the barriers. And even Rebbe Eliezer would agree in that situation that it's considered Tzidei Rishus Harabim. It's not a place where the public goes. And if the public doesn't go there, then what? Then it's a Carmelist. It's a Carmelist. It's a Mokum P'tur. All right. Says the Gemara. Omer Rabbi Yochanan. Umayda ben Azai. So let's think about this for a second. Ben Azai says that if I walk, every time I take a step, I'm stopping. So therefore, if I stop, I undo whatever I did before. So what was his case? That if a person walks from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus Harabim and he walked through a Carmelist, according to Ben Azai, since Mahalach Ka'imid, so he made a stop in the Carmelist, so he never had a continuation between Rishus HaYachid and Rishus Harabim, because he had a stopover in a Carmelist, and that Midbar Rice is not also. Okay, that's because he was walking. And walking is stopping. Because think about slow motion, your toes, they hit the ground, they don't move. They're stationary on that spot until you lift them up. So what about if I take a ball and I throw it from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus Harabim, and there's a Carmelist in between? What would Ben Azai hold in that situation? Of course he's chayiv. There's no stopping. There's no toes involved. No toes, you chayiv. Umayde Ben Azai b'zoyrek. Finished. End of story. He agrees. What? No, he doesn't hold Kluta. So this is the same exact thing that we just read. If a person goes from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus Harabim through a Carmelist, Chayav, Echad HaMoitzi, whether he goes from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus Harabim, Echad HaMachnis, whether he goes from Rishus Harabim to Rishus HaYachid, Echad HaZoyrek, and whether he throws it, Echad HaMoishid, and whether he extends his hand and he puts it from side to side. Because when he walks, he's stopping in the Carmelist. But since he's not stopping when he throws it or he extends his hand, then he's chayav. Okay, Rabbi Isai. We're about to embark on a sugya that's 4 daf long. Very simple stuff. It's a giant brisa, and we're going to break down the brisa piece by piece, understand what everything is. It's a brisa that describes the 4 domains, the 4 reshuyos. Easy stuff, not to be worried, but it goes all the way to Daf Tes on the base. Top of Daf Tes on the base is a new Mishnah and a new Masechta. Says the Gemara Tanna Rabbanan, Dalit Rishuyos l'Shabbos. There are 4 domains in Shabbos. Rishus HaYachid, Rishus HaRabim, V'Karmelis, U'Makoyim P'tur. V'Hezer Rishus HaYachid. What does it mean, Rishus HaYachid? Now, obviously, Rishus HaYachid is 4 tefachim by 4 tefachim with mechitzos that are 10 tefachim high. Walls that are 10 tefachim high. But the Mishnah, the Brisa gives us a bigger chiddush. Charetz, even if it's in the ground, Shu Omik 10, Asara, V'Rachav Dalid. You have the same exact thing that you have above ground, in ground. You have a well. A well usually is 4 by 4 and 10 deep. So Mamela, a well would be a Rishus HaYachid. Now look at the words here. V'chein goder shugavoya asara v'rochav daled. Another chiddush. If I built a wall, a very thick wall, like if you go in the old city, these walls you could actually walk on them, 4 tvachim wide, 10 tvachim high. So even though it's above ground, that's the Rishus HaYachid. And here comes what we just have to remember this for a second. Zuhi, this is Rishus HaYachid Gemura. I just asked you, what is Rishus HaYachid? And I described it beautifully. And then I finish off, Zuhi, Rishus HaYachid Gemura. For what purpose? The Gemara has a chiddush in these words. Zuhi, Rishus HaYachid Gemura. Remember these words. Vezi Rishus HaRabim. What's considered Rishus HaRabim? Sratya. A street. I don't know if the word street comes from this word. It would be street. It's an intercity highway. Street. Rashi says it's intercity. It goes from city to city. Uplatyu gdoila. And a very large plaza. Where people, a marketplace. Now, by the way, when it comes to street, you have here many, many Rishonim, and there's a lot of confusion. I'll just give you what I know. I'm not saying anything. According to Rashi over here, almost all the Rishonim, the Rambam, the Ramban, the Rashba, the Ran, it does not need to have 600,000 people. Rashi doesn't mention a word about 600,000 people. Although, in Erevin he does mention 600,000 people. Where does the 600,000 people come up? Taisvus. Taisvus says 600,000. In the Midbar, there's 600,000 men. There's a lot more than that. There's millions of people. But okay. So Memela what? It's very important. This is a very, very important inyan. Everybody should think about it. I'm not passing halachas. The Bir halacha says that we should go l'chumrah. Because most of the Rishonim hold you don't need 600,000 people. So we have a major, major problem. Since we have streets that are 16 amos wide without 600,000 people, so if you want to be machmer, you have to consider our streets Rishus HaRabim. Because you don't need 600,000 people. And if you consider it a Rishus HaRabim, guess what? You can't make an Erev on a Rishus HaRabim. You can't make a Tzuras HaPesach on a Rishus HaRabim. You can only make an Erev on a Carmelis, and a Tzuras HaPesach on a Carmelis. And that's why there are many, many people that don't go by Erev. Fine. That's just the Bir halacha. Now, exactly what's the 600,000? The Ramos says 600,000 people a day. Says the Mishnah Berurah, that's ridiculous. I don't know where he got it from. No Rishonim say it, nothing. And the Ramban says that the 600,000, even if you hold 600,000, it's only in a platya, only in a marketplace, but not in a street. Nobody ever even said that you need 600,000 people in a street. So all these things, you have a giant highway that has 600,000, is like a miyot shebemiyot, like one sheet or somewhere, whatever. Fine. So we're not even going with that 600,000. We're just going to say a street that has a lot of people. And there's a great Rambam Shita, hopefully we'll get to soon, that it just means that people have access to that. Because anybody has access to the desert. Fine. No, not a Carmelis. Or Rishus HaRabim. He calls it desert or Rambam. Sorry. Leave it. What?
What does that say about any of it? He considers it desert or
Right. No. So when people live there, he says, then it's not a Rishus HaRabim, it's Rishus HaYachid. Because people are living there. When people don't live there and they have access to it, then it becomes a Rishus HaRabim. If people are there, like in the desert, when they live there, he says it's not a Rishus HaYachid, the opposite of all the other Rishonim. That's just the Shittas HaRabim. Fine. Don't worry about it, Yaakov. Thank you. Don't worry about it. I'm not putting my foot there. All right. Let's go weiter. Uplatyu gdoila, in a large plaza. Umavois hamufulashim. Rabbi said there's a Gemara that came out. It's the Ma'aris of Daf Yomi. They have amazing pictures, and this is a mavoi. You have all the houses here, and they have a chutzner in here. The mavoi is a street, sort of, that goes through and through. This particular one is not mefulish. It's not open on all ends. It's a dead end. But we're talking about mevois hamufulashim. Imagine that this is flat, this wall. It looks sort of flat, so it's good. If it goes through and through, then it's open to everybody, and that's Rishus HaRabim. Zui, once again, with this funny lashon, Zui, Rishus HaRabim, Gemura. The Gemara is going to say that the word Gemura here is, we don't learn anything from it. It's just because a second ago we said the word Gemura, so we also say Gemura. But we will learn a chiddush from the words Zuhi. This is it. This is what a Rosh Hashanah is. Okay, let's go back there in the Brisa. Oh, I forgot, and I keep on forgetting. It's a flogging because I wanted to we have a lot to do. But I have to be makar tova to all the people that sent over Mishlach Manas, and I want to point out that the Chabura in Manchester sent a tremendous Shalach Manas, and Leon Welcher, our friend who developed the app from South Africa, sent me 2 bottles of whiskey. Each one was over $100. Mendy Orbach, on his way to the hospital on Purim, this tzaddik, went miles out of the way to get the so Yishkoach Mendy, Yishkoach Leon Welcher, Yishkoach to this woman, what's her name again? Remind me your name? Mrs. Orkabi, who sent over delicious food. So Yishkoach to her, Yishkoach to all the people who sent stuff in. We got to go by 10 minutes. The whiskey, I think you drank it, all 2 bottles of it, Chaim. I was also wondering the same thing. So you're not allowed to go from one Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. Obviously, you can't go from one to the other. What's the halacha if you go from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah? Of course, you chayav achatos because you did it by mistake. What's the halacha? B'meizid onush kares. Anytime you chayav kares, if you do it by mistake, you chayav chatos. V'niskal. When do you get skila? If there's Eidim and Asra, they warn you. Aval, Yam, every one of these lines is going to be discussed in great detail. Aval Yam Ubika, you have a sea, you have a valley. Vistavanios, storefronts. What's the Lashon of Stavanios? Look at it carefully. It's a Lashon of Stav. Stav Lifnim is Stav. These are the benches that we discussed that people would put down. They had cool public benches. People sat down, took off their stuff in front of the stores, like you have in the Merkaz over here. You bring your stuff outside of the store, it widens up your store. Carmelis, and these are all Carmelisim, ain't no like Rishus Harabim, but like Rishus Hayachid. Okay? So this is a Carmelis, which is not a Rishus Harabim, it's not 16 feet wide, 16 amas wide. It's not a Rishus Hayachid, it's not 4 tefachim, doesn't have these walls. It's an in-between area, it's a Carmelis. And you cannot carry and go about your business inside the Carmelis. Why can't I go there? Because I might go into Rosh Hashanah. It's Xero. Not from Rosh Hashanah to the Carmelis. I can't go from Rosh Hashanah to it. What? Avalos. Anytime it says in Sechta Potter, as we had yesterday, it's always Potter, Aval, Asur. Midrabanan it's also besides 3 places: the deer, the snake, and the Mapis Mursa. Very good. And our Mishnah, which there's no mice at all. Fine. If you have these public chatzeros, people use them together, or a mavoy, she'enim foolish, like in this picture. There's a wall over here, and I want to go into my chotzer, but a lot of people are using it. I want to go from my chotzer into the street beforehand. Anachal zavitan at the bottom over there. What do I do? Erev mutarim, if I made erev, it's okay. Like erev asurim, if you didn't make erev, it's awesome. Here's your door, here's your skufa, here's the Megillah from yesterday. But a skufa, just to demonstrate what it looks like, it's a threshold, it's some sort of porch. But it's not 4 tefachim, like a porch. It's a little tiny step threshold. So I could stand on that. What is this called? This is called a Mokim P'tur. It's not a Rosh Hashanah. It's not part of my house. It's not part of Rosh Hashanah. Mokim P'tur. We'll see according to this. I could extend from the skufa into the house. And I can extend my hand to somebody standing in Rosh Hashanah. Don't be the middleman and go all the way directly from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. That's a no-no. But if I did so, we are potter. Why are we potter? Because it's a Mokim P'tur. It's only awesome in the Rabbanon. Potter aval aser. Acherim oimrim. Who's Acherim usually in Shas? Meir. Acherim oimrim. Isku v'mishameshes shtei rishuyos. Depends. I could view this threshold in 2 ways, depending if the door is open or closed. If If the door is open, then it's an extension of my house. So it's a Rosh Hashanah. So Yiskufa Gvoya Asara. Now, if it has 10 Tfachim, Urachava Dalid, then it becomes what? Rosh Hashanah kind of, its own Roshus. Harez Roshus La'atzma. Exactly. You cannot move objects from the Yiskufa to my house. It's from one Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah. I can't do that. Omer Mar. Zu Rosh Hashanah Lemutei Mai. Why does it say Zu Hi Rosh Hashanah? Zog the Gemara. Lemutei Mai. Lemutei Other Rabbi Yehuda. Nisani Yisal Ken Omer Rabbi Yehuda Misha Yesh Lishnei Batim Mishnei Tzidei Rosh Hashanah. Unbelievable. Check this out. A guy owns 2 homes on either side of the street, and the Rosh Hashanah runs through his houses. What does he do? He can make the area between his 2 houses, he can make it a private domain. How? By putting a car on the domain. And therefore, I can carry from my house across the street, or what? It says, first it says Lechi, then it says Kaira. Here's a lechi. A lechi is a vertical beam, tefach wide. And where do I put it? According to Rashi, I put it on 2 sides of the house. I saw somebody else mefarish over here, whatever. Lo mishana. A lechi is a heker. It's a derabanan. It's ki'ilu I made a wall. Fine. And now I can carry. What are you talking about? How could I take a public domain? Thousands of people walk through there, and I'm going to make it a private domain, and I can start carrying there? No way. But my Korla Gemura. Oh, so it comes to exclude this Rabbi Yehuda. It's only a Rosh Hashanah without these kairos. Anything that has these funny kairos and lechis, that's not Rosh Hashanah. In order to be Rosh Hashanah, it has to be 10 tfachim. It has to be 4x4. I cannot start making streets into Rosh Hashanah. Why does the Gemara sticking the Bryce sticking the word Gemura? Mal the same completely Rabbana lay. Rabbi Yehuda the lehavi Rosh Hashanah. Hanimi letaltel. Chachamim hold I cannot use this leheter, lekula. I can't carry from my house to my second house through Rosh Hashanah. But what if I took an object and I threw it from the street over here into the area that's with the kaira? Maybe Chacham should say l'chumra, and I'm chayiv because I went from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah l'chumra. Kamash Malon that even l'chumra it's nothing, 0. They view this as a big 0. It's not a Rosh Hashanah, it's a continuation of Rosh Hashanah. So if I threw a ball from right over here into over here, then I am not over according to Rabbanan at all. Omar Mar, Zuhi Rosh Hashanah. Now when it came to Rosh Hashanah, we explained what it was, and we said the same words, Zuhi. Mudei idach Rabbi Yehuda. It's not Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Now, this we have to say this. We're going to have this in Eruvin. The concept of Yumdim. In the middle of a highway, there's a well. And the well, we said, is 4 tefachim by 4 to 10 deep. It's Rosh Hashanah. How do I draw water from my well and get to my animals? Or the regalim, all the people are coming. What do I do? I can't go from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. I make these pretend walls. They're real. They're L-shaped walls, amma by amma. And pretend. And memela. Now, Rabbi Yehuda says, if people start walking through that, you have to tell the people, go out of the way. If you notice over here, Rabbi Yehuda is machmir, the opposite of before. Before Rabbi Yehuda is mekel, he said it's considered the Rosh Hashanah. It's considered Rosh Hashanah. Chacham hold is 4 real walls. Mekel is good. In the other case, Chacham hold there's 2 walls, just a fake kaira. That's not good enough. Fine. So it comes to exclude this case. It has to be a Rosh Hashanah Gemura. If it has the Yumdim, make these L-shaped things, then it's not a Rosh Hashanah Gemura. Midbar. Why don't we talk about the Midbar? The Tanya, our Brisa doesn't mention anything about a Midbar. Most Rishonim learn that when Klal Yisrael was in the Midbar, then it was a Rosh Hashanah. When Klal Yisrael is not in the Midbar, it's Rosh Hashanah. As mentioned before, the Ram says the opposite. When Klal Yisrael was there, that's where they lived, so it's Rosh Hashanah. Today, that nobody goes to the Midbar, but they have access to the Midbar is just a rabbin according to the Rambam. I guess we will stop here.